This podcast is filmed before a live studio audience.
Oh, no, he didn't. Jerry. We love you, Steve.
All I can reference for live studio audience is Jerry Springer.
All you got is Jerry Springer. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Man, had a good hustle.
Check out this picture of me.
Ooh-wee. Okay, there's some elements here. First of all, you have Alberto's in the background, which I love.
Okay, so you know where I'm at?
Yeah.
Can you see you can tell what gas station I'm at?
Yeah, you're right by my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
this daily.
Right.
Almost.
Okay. You see that car?
The car or the car in the background?
The green car.
Okay, yeah.
That's the car I flipped off the freeway.
Okay.
That was
Amy's
car. Yeah.
Hi, Amy.
You see those suspenders?
Yeah. That was one of the things I wanted to bring up.
That's a bad look.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it provided some extra support.
It helped
flip your car.
Well, what it did was it kept those pants up because I was fat at the time. No, I'm not at maximum fat there, but I was fat at the time.
Okay.
And I don't have a butt. So my pants had to be
suspended
big to the point that realistically a belt, I figured out why big guys that have that big old belly always have suspenders on is because what the fuck is a belt going to do when you're shaped like that?
Yeah, I think I'm realizing in real time that I might need suspenders.
You might.
I might.
Because the belt can't keep anything up if there's not something larger than it below it.
Right. It's physics.
Right? Yeah, unless you're just like cinching it into your fat.
Yeah, that's usually the move.
So, but they're very narrow suspenders. They're really...
Yeah. They're minimum grade. They're amateur suspenders. They're starter suspenders.
And you can't tell from this photo, but I am wearing the pants are like charcoal jeans.
Okay.
And I'm wearing dress shoes, square-toed dress shoes, as was the style of the time.
Which time?
It's not a bad photo of me, and I'm definitely not at maximum fat there by any means.
You just look like a dude. Normal.
I'm a little fatter than I am now, but
I would not describe you as fat in this photo unless like you committed a crime, and I had to be like, well, he wasn't thin.
Right. I was on my way down from fat when this photo was taken. Yeah,
you have like a little bit of a glow about you. You're like stoked to be getting gassed that day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that photo.
There's no story behind that?
No.
Well, there were several connectors, I guess.
Sure.
We do need to put that on Instagram after we post this episode so folks can follow along.
Actually, I might have a story. I might be wrong about what car that is.
Well, I think that car is, if I'm not mistaken, is the car you had when you were driving us around in high school.
No, that was a black. That was a black Honda.
Similar model.
It is a very similar model. That may be my mom's car.
Checks out.
And this may be the day I was driving my mom to the airport to go visit her friend in Maine.
Is your mom who took this photo?
Might be my mom who took this photo.
Okay.
And I'm driving my mom to the airport to go visit her friend in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way home from the airport, this actually makes sense because this is definitely the outfit I was wearing the day this story happened. On the way home, the car overheated.
Okay.
Engine seized up.
So your mom's gone.
My mom is now on an airplane.
And your high school age?
No, I was 20.
Really?
19, 20.
You look so baby-faced in there. I guess it's just
I looked like I was 19 until I was 29, though.
Yeah.
I've gone downhill in the last 4 or 5 years as a result of...
The beard makes you look a lot more...
Sure, but even now when I shave the beard off, you can tell I'm not... Like I was working at In-N-Out Burger and nobody knew that I was almost 30.
Well,
just because we had to shave our face every day.
When I was In-N-Out Burger... Also,
I don't have, my life lives in flashes, man. I don't know the years. But the car overheated in Elk Grove.
You weren't even close.
To the point that like it just like got hot and started slowing down. Like the engine like seized right up. Whatever happened to that car, it was just like,
we're done.
I'm driving down the road and it was like, game over.
Have a seat.
I had to.
You would have driven it all the way home had it gotten.
If it had kept going, I would have at least driven it to the side of the freeway instead of the middle.
Oh no.
Okay? This is how this story starts. Is I had to pull my car into the median because it was like I couldn't get it to go enough to try and cut 3 lanes of traffic to cut off to the side.
So, okay, at this point in your life, I know you don't know years, but would you be able to tell me if this was before or after the flip incident with the other car?
This was after flipping the other car, but this was after the wreck, because that was high school.
Okay.
Right? The wreck.
And then before?
And then before the flip.
So, like...
I'm probably 19.
Huh.
And then I flipped.
It's crazy to me that you are still cool with driving.
It takes... both of those major accidents, it took me a while to get back to it. And I'm only now, like just in the last few years, not scared on the highway.
That makes sense.
Like I had a lot of...
I would think that would be a lifelong piece of luggage that you'd be carrying.
Sure.
And especially the current car that you're driving, like it doesn't strike me as like this is the safest.
It's very safe.
Is it?
Because it's like a sphere on the inside. The
Is it like steel?
Yeah, it's real. It's a real car. It ain't.
Well, I mean, I understand it's a real car, but there's cars that are like
it has a super high safety rating
or whatever.
It has a super high safety rating because of the shape. That shape. Like if it flips or something, it'll just roll over because it's.
But what about strong wind?
Strong wind, going around a corner at high speed when there's a strong wind. It'll pick up a little bit.
I feel like it would.
Yeah, it does. There's a part on the highway on the way to the bay on Highway 4 where, like, right before you get to the hills, there's this wind area where it's just like always kind of windy. Because the fact that
you're aware of the specific wind area is an indicator.
Yeah, and I have to slow down to like 55. To go for like 3 miles leading up to the like pass through of the hills. Yeah. I have to slow down and get over because.
Yeah. See, I don't have anything bookmarked in my head about like, gotta consider the wind speeds here.
Sure.
In this particular area. I'm a man that has a vehicle of a certain weight.
Car dies. I pull over to the median. I get my cell phone out because I had a cell phone.
Right. So. Motorola Razr, probably.
No, it was my first iPhone.
Oh, okay.
It was an iPhone 3GS.
I had an iPhone 3GS. Probably also my first model.
Yeah. It was when the iPhone really got decent. Like started getting decent.
I was blown away.
Yeah. At the time it was unbelievable how cool that fucking thing was. So I pull into the median. I try.
Can't call mom.
Can't call my mom. Tried because she's got the AAA card.
Right.
Tried to call my aunt who lived in Sacramento at the time. She didn't answer the phone. And they weren't particularly reliable anyway.
Right.
And then my phone dies.
Okay.
And
because your phone is always about to die.
Well, yeah.
10 years later. Still
I need to plug my phone in. And I don't have a cable in the car.
Right.
And my phone's dead.
So now you're just this dude.
So now I'm a dude sitting in a Honda in the median of Highway 5
And suspenders.
in suspenders and dress shoes.
Yeah. It's not a slam dunk if you're trying to like hitchhike it out.
Right. Right. So I frogger my ass across the highway because I'm on southbound. So I got to go across northbound
Okay.
to get off the freeway to anything reasonable. Like, you know, I think it was
Gas station or something.
Laguna Boulevard. So there's some shit. Like at least I broke down near a good spot because there's a lot of exits on Highway 5 where I would have been fucked. Yeah.
Like, I guess I have to start a fire.
Right. And so I walk to a gym or something that's right there. And I'm like, somebody charge my phone. No, nobody has an iPhone charger. Nobody. I go to a hotel.
Everybody in that place had an iPhone charger.
Right? I go to a hotel and I'm like,
square shoes.
Can I look at the lost and found bin? Like I don't know if you know, all hotels have a charger bin of people's chargers that they've left.
Makes sense.
There wasn't an iPhone charger in there. iPhones weren't as prolific as they are today.
Sure.
Right? It was still new. It was definitely
It was impressive to have an iPhone.
Yeah. I went to a Starbucks. Somebody had one in there but wouldn't let me use it.
Dick move.
Uh-huh.
I'll stand here, sir. I just need it long enough to complete a phone call.
Right. There's an Apple facility on Laguna Boulevard.
Wow.
Like a mile up from the freeway, 2 miles up from the freeway.
You just know that?
Yeah. Somebody's cousin worked there.
Okay.
Like was like a high ranking person there. Right.
He was a good apple.
He was a good apple, and he was a good connection to have when your iPhone is dead and you don't have a charger. Well, step one, the Apple store at that location had closed like the month before, permanently went out of business.
Oh no.
It was still an Apple facility, but the Apple store was not there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm going into like the back, like the office area entrance and going,
I'm sure someone here has a...
Right! Like, one of you motherfuckers has to have an iPhone charger. The fucking security... None of the security people had iPhones. Most of the front desk people all had Androids.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, listen, I'm friends with this guy. And they go, oh, well, let me call him. Right? And I'm like, yeah, you call him. You get him down here. He knows me. He's not in today.
He's like, what's he wearing?
He wasn't there. Maybe he just fucked me. Maybe he was there and he was like, no, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, and you're like a 19-year-old kid, and he's like, he'll figure it out.
He was my girlfriend's cousin.
That doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Still. Fucked. If he was there that day.
I couldn't name any of my girlfriend's cousins.
We had just been at a party together a week before.
This changes nothing in my world.
Well, anyway, maybe he fucked.
He was looking at you through the window
right?
like,
Probably.
Oh, fuck no.
Probably. And that's when I just was like, well, nothing worse can happen here. Like, there's no... It's all good.
Have to start a life of crime.
I turned it off. I was just like, you know what? Everything bad is happening. Keep throwing it at me because it ain't going to get any, no matter what else bad happens, it ain't going to get any worse. It's all good. I got to do what I got to do now. So I end up going back up towards the freeway and going to that hotel and being like, listen, couldn't find a charger from here to fucking China. Can I use your phone and give the people the phone number of the phone here to call me back on? Right? Because I'm trying to set up a tow. Meanwhile, my mom is in the air still, so I don't even know how I'm gonna set up a tow because it's not like I have any money.
Right.
I own an iPhone. I don't have any money.
You're like, before this all happened, I was worried about how much gas I had in the tank.
Right. Meanwhile, I'm doing all of this wandering around in square-toed dress shoes and suspenders.
Yeah, probably pretty hungry at this point. Tired, thirsty.
Yeah.
Sexually frustrated.
I had like maybe $4 in my pocket. I bought myself a Wendy's cheeseburger at some point.
How many lives have dollar menu items saved?
For real. Long story short, I was there. I dropped my mom off in Sacramento at like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get home with the car, which I ended up like riding home with a tow truck driver. My mom got off the plane in Maine, and I was able to call her and be like, call AAA. I need to get out of fucking Elk Grove. It was terrible.
Stranded.
Yeah, it was
stranded in like
terrible, bro.
Populated Sacramento.
And I didn't know anybody's phone numbers.
Right, of course not, because nobody does.
Yeah. Like that was part of the problem.
Like, I couldn't call numbers, and I called them both.
Right. Yeah, like I knew my mom's cell phone number, so that was good. That made it worked it out for me. But I didn't get home until like 8:00 at night.
Bummer.
Like I was there all day.
Full shift.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 50.
Yeah, I'm feeling like these emotions are coming out of your body right now. You're like back there in that moment.
Yeah, it was a heavy day, but I really did. Once I walked out of that Apple store, like, the 1.5 miles, 2 miles back to where all the stuff is next to the freeway. Like on the way out of the Apple store, I was just like, I might as well fucking kill myself. What fuckery is this? Well, the Apple store is closed.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer.
Yeah,
because it's a big win when you realize I'm right by that Apple store.
Exactly. And then
that's a slam dunk.
And then it was closed, and I was like, but wait, this is the place where her cousin works. I got this.
And you're like exercising all of this, just don't stop itness. You're just fucking gung-ho, like, I'm gonna solve this problem.
Yep.
And you really...
Nope, universe wasn't having it. Like, that was a day I was supposed to sit in fucking Elk Grove all day doing jack shit.
You learned some kind of lesson, maybe.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what it is, but you looked fly.
Check the oil more often.
It was... Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, do you remember what eventually...
No, I don't know what it was.
Was it like major? Was that the end of that car?
That car ended. Yeah. It was my mom's car, so it wasn't on me. I wasn't even living with her at the time.
Oh, it's just like, can you drop me off?
Yeah. And then her car exploded on the fucking way home.
Yeah. So check your mom's oil more.
Right.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it was a bummer. But it was a zen learning experience for me, because it really, like, by the end, I was just chill. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to give me a Wendy's cheeseburger.
Super anxious just hearing it, because I wouldn't have taken nearly as many steps as you did. I would have been like, all right, I'm walking down to this gas station, trying to figure this out. And I would have just lived in that gas station until I got on the phone with the 1 or 2 phone numbers I remembered.
Right.
And I'd be like, can you help me? And if they said no, I'd be like, can you transfer me to the police or something? Like, I don't know. Who do you call? Is this how we, maybe a senator?
Start begging for a Greyhound ticket.
Yeah, like, something like, whose dick do I have to suck to get home?
For real.
No.
Yeah, so there's that story.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been really far gone, because that's a Honda. And I remember you driving them Hondas pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
And not doing a lot with them, and they lasted real well.
Yeah. I mean, I wrecked the one.
Did you ever see my
then I wrecked the other one. Cherokee,
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeep Cherokee for a few years, and this wasn't even the end of its life. This should have been the end of its life, but I was driving around on what sounds like the same thing you were dealing with, which was a blown head gasket for months. For months. And the only way it stayed running was that it would stay cool enough when I was on the road moving. And then at any stop, the needle would immediately start.
Oh,
traveling.
sure. Yeah, the Pontiac did that to us.
Yeah.
The Pontiac did that to us. And I would just run the heater.
Yeah, I did that for a while, and it was helpful for a while. And then eventually the problem progressed to where that didn't make a sizable difference.
Right. Same. Then it would just, like, when that would happen, if it got to a certain point, it would just, like, fountain water out of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got to that point, but it definitely started steaming and shit at certain points. And yeah, it would just be like, and I just dealt with it because I just didn't want to fix it.
Yeah, drop a bunch of money on it.
Yeah, I was like, and I was single at the time. Like, it could have made it happen a lot sooner than I did, but I waited until the last possible moment before I took it to a shop. And then they basically were like, we can't let this car even leave our shop at this point.
Now, is that the one that you ended up selling to Nate? Didn't you sell that to Nate?
Yeah, but I fixed it. I paid the money to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And but that was just like such a crazy, looking back, like now that I have kids and stuff, I'm just like thinking about how ridiculously unsafe and irresponsible.
Right. You would never do that now.
Right. But it was just like, I was just like, yeah, I mean, how often do I not move when I'm driving? This is fine.
Yeah, I just got to be careful to turn it off real quick.
Yeah. And it just became very precarious and like traffic jams and like unpredictable stoplights and things of that nature. Yeah. Because it was quick, dude. It was like 30 seconds and the thing was redlining. And you could let it do that for a period of time before it started showing physical symptoms that you could see. Right? But yeah, it was just always this like high anxiety craziness, especially on the freeway. Because if you're in freeway traffic, you're just in freeway traffic.
Right.
And you can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you break down in an intersection like that shit, that happens all the time. You just push it to the nearest parking lot or whatever. You know what I mean? But if
I had a car going out like that it ended up finally dying on me in the Burger King drive-through.
Nice.
Because the person in front of me took too long.
That's such a bummer. I can't believe that didn't happen to me. I just like, fuck, man. It was crazy. And like at a certain point, you get like a weird confidence about it. Like you're like, I get it. Like I can hear you, baby.
We were doing the show. That was the Ford that did that.
Yeah.
In the Burger King.
Yeah.
Because I had to get out and push it through the drive-through while Kale like reached over and steered.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I remember a lot of, I don't think these cars are going to move for another couple minutes. I'll turn off my ignition and, chill. But then, there's other factors. It's the middle of August or something. And, okay, the car's off. Now I'm just sitting in the sun in the middle of August. Or worse yet, the car's on and I'm blasting the heat.
Right. No, it's worse when it's on. Were you at a point with it before it finally gave it up that you just ran the heat all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, that's what.
Ran the heat all the time.
It's like as soon as you start the engine, you got the heat blasting.
Yeah, there was something wrong with something under my floorboards where there was like liquid that came up through my floorboard. It was just like, it was a complete mess. And I was like, I was in this very volatile point in my life where I just didn't care about anything because of some events that had transpired, and I was drinking a ton, and I was just like, well, we can deal with just about anything. I just got to get through the workday, and then I'll see y'all at Finnegan's. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yep.
And
shout out Tony.
Shout out Tony. Thanks for supporting all that.
Support. I don't know if this is the right word.
I can't remember what.
Facilitate. Facilitate.
Enable. No.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever. I'm sure I paid for a couple of his kids' college years in the future or whatever.
Maybe.
Pre-pandemic, maybe. Anyway.
Shit.
I bought him a few months of keeping the doors open to that place, maybe. But yeah, it was pretty wild. And then paid thousands of dollars to get it fixed.
And then you had it for like 6 months.
And then drove it for another few months and sold it to Nate, where it was already starting to have like more problems, like transmission problems.
He only drove it for another 6 months after that before it sat in his driveway for 5 years.
But that's on him because I gave him the whole 411 on that vehicle. I was like, here's what I think's going to happen. Here's what has happened.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I was like, here's all this cosmetic shit that you wouldn't even find unless I pointed it out to you. I gave him everything I had. And I was like, I don't want it. Like I sold it to him for way less than it was worth. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. But
I think you cut him a good deal on it.
Yeah.
As I recall.
I was happy to just be done with it.
Sure.
I think Becky was probably pregnant at that point already. I wasn't driving it. It was just like parked, you know?
Pregnant with what? Becky who? You didn't have that car when you were with Becky.
I might have.
You didn't.
I'm trying to remember. There was a quick turnover of vehicles within like a year where she got a new one, I got a new one that were like not new but older vehicles.
If you were with Becky when you sold that car to Nate, I have like a disorder about time. Like it's not just I can't really remember the year. Like I have a disorder. I have a problem. Have you seen that movie, Synecdoche, New York?
Where are me and Becky at? I think this is going to be 6 years this year that we've been together.
I have no concept of time.
Yeah.
How long were you together before you had the kid?
It's gonna be 4 this year, so about 2 years we were together. About a year and a half when she got pregnant.
She's gonna be 4?
Uh-huh.
My life is slipping away.
I'm caught between realities.
Yeah, for real. No, I love that video that you made.
Yeah.
That caught between realities one. It's great. I like the new videos you made too. I saw them today.
I'm just now getting some kind of basic competency on the Premiere Rush. Because like when I
layering and shit on there?
Yeah, I had no real idea what I was doing. And I was kind of just fumbling to just get a video with words on it done.
Sure.
And maybe music. And then finally kind of like started understanding conceptually how it works. But
it's deep. Like you can do for being a fucking iPad app, like you can do some heavy shit.
Well, I was just stoked to figure out the picture and all that other stuff. So I was like, okay, we got some potential here to do some cool shit. It's just probably going to be pretty clunky for a while. Mm-hmm. But I'm stoked.
Yeah. I mean, saving your PNGs and then layering them.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, struggling as far as putting stuff out more regular, is that I don't have that big bank of cut out stuff that I had before, so I kind of have to like...
Where is it?
Well, a lot of it was like saved as stickers on that PixArt app I was using. And then
on your phone though, right?
Yeah, but at some point something happened, update or something, and that's just gone.
So, yeah, you got to export those fuckers, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure if I dug through my Google Photos, I'd find some of them.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to try to do more cleaner stuff going forward anyways.
We need to do some photo shoots.
Real talk.
On, like, in front of a white wall and get for me too. Like, yeah, we need. Because, like, I do a lot of piecing shit together or, putting our heads on other bodies and shit like that to get by, which is fine. It's fun. Yeah.
It's part of the brand too, but like, not always. I want just like a photo.
Right. I mean, if you look at the pieces that I make for Dangerously Strange, there's only like 4 versions of us that I use.
I noticed.
I
mean, I do use a lot of the same.
Yeah.
But it's just because those are the ones that have the best resolution or the angle that I like or whatever. You know what I mean? So. What it is, though. I'm pretty stoked about the whole potential of different media pieces we can make going forward now.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you to have that fancy ass iPad, better than my iPad by a lot.
So it's functionally, I'm just
it's basically the same.
Basically the same. I'm liking it though. It seems like the memory is going to be plenty because I'm just like, I got a bunch of just trash that, save this 4 or 5 times, save this 10 times, like different layers and all this shit. It's like not even making a dent. So
yes. And don't let that get out of hand, bro.
No,
because now I live in a nightmare where I have like 90,000 photos on my phone.
Yeah, I feel you. No, I when I get bored, sometimes I do that. I definitely do it with my phone.
That's good. I don't. I've got every screenshot I've taken in the last 10 years on my phone.
I don't clear out photos that I've taken, but I'll clear out stuff that I've made, you know, and screenshots and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, I have thousands of photographs in my phone, and that's just too daunting of a number to go back and give any kind of maintenance to, even though a bunch of it is like, let me take a picture of this Wi-Fi code.
I have 22,000 photos on my phone right now.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Spanning how much time?
7,850 of those are screenshots.
Wow.
About maybe 5 years.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, the camera phone essentially replaced note taking.
Oh, big time.
You know what I mean?
Big time.
I don't write anything down.
Between
usually.
screenshots and just taking pictures of a thing you need to remember about.
Yeah. I've got 30 screenshots that I took today because I'm trying to piece together some top 5 lists. Me and Becky were talking on Mom and the Man-Child how we don't have nailed down top 5 lists for like shows and movies and stuff. I was like, I'm gonna fucking do that because I like shows and movies. I want to have my list.
See, I don't have a list because I really like shows and movies.
No, I know. And like when I was in the moment, I was like, I'll say 5 because I feel like 5 will be easier to come up with. But I shot myself in the foot because that's the exact opposite. I should have said, let's do a top 20 list.
Oh yeah, hit me with a top 20. But I'll still be lying. It's just like when we tried to talk about our top 5 comics or, you know, comedians or whatever.
Not comics, but specials.
Oh, that's even worse.
Right, dude. I fucked myself. I only got a week to get this done, but I'm going to do my best. The hard part's not going to be finding them. The hard part's going to be numbering them. I can tell you with relative certainty on any of those topics, like what my top 5 are in no particular order. But to be like, which is 5 and which is 1? Oh, dude.
For sure. That for sure. But then for me also just choosing anything.
You just, at some point, you just got to make a decision. I know like 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know a few that I really will always put in my top 5.
Yeah.
Of almost anything. But then, like, out of the other 500 that I love very much,
right, to
choose the 2 to include in my top 5 with my top 3, that's hard.
Yeah, you can't overthink it. I think you give it as much thought as you can in a short amount of time, but then at some point you got to be like, what does my brain automatically gravitate towards? So that's why I'm taking the screenshots, and I'm just on shows at this point. But just like I got a few, okay, and I'm like, all right, this one keeps jumping out at me. This one I can't intellectually explain, but for some reason it like I feel it, so that one's probably on the list. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I do. I get bungled up when I'm trying to think about shows, especially because there's a lot of shows where it's like, I really like this show, and it's probably one of my favorites, but just because I watch it more often than any other thing, that doesn't mean it's my favorite, right? Like, I don't necessarily love The Office more than I like.
Your criteria are your criteria. You know what I mean? So, like, I know what you're saying, though. You're like, there's like background shows.
Yeah, exactly. I'll watch The Office over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
I like The Office. I can follow it without watching it.
Right. It's a time travel. I have a lot of time travel shows. Have we talked about this on here?
I feel like it's come up.
Just any Community, The Office, Parks and Rec, Bob's Burgers, Archer. There's these shows that I've seen every single episode of that show so many times that just having the sound of it on in the background makes time go by faster for me.
Sure.
Like whatever I'm doing is sped up virtually in my mind by the fact that I know what's happening in my ear.
You're battling Brooke, you know, it like suppresses anxiety and like, you know, it's just captures some part of your consciousness that.
Yeah, it's calming to know what's going to happen.
Sure. yeah, so yeah, it's a big daunting task. The shows, I'm more intimidated as I am assigning importance to the items, obviously. So like the shows are, I'm like, I'll have that done by this probably today. Yeah. But then the movies, I'm like, oh man, movies, like all of the movies since I've been a child, right? Because like there's a lot of shows I love, but I've probably forgotten enough to make top five lists.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like what this list is going to end up being is like I'm going to Google a few top 100 lists and scroll through them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like
choose the ones that are your favorites.
Right. Yeah, and then but with the movies, I'm like, there's a lot of loyalty issues there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You know, like I've got to honor certain parts of my life and movies I've shared with people. Yeah, it's a lot easier to disqualify a show for me because a show, I can love a show, but if it ended poorly, I can just take it off the list.
Right. Game of Thrones.
Walking Dead.
I wouldn't know.
Well, Walking Dead was like a show I loved religiously for years. Mm-hmm. And then it got to probably the last 3 seasons were increasingly trashy. And I was just like, man, you guys really fucking fumbled this. Like,
I don't think I ever made it all the way through the first season of that show.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's like a vibe. If you're not into it, I can see how you're just not into it. Like I never watched Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? And like people flip out when I say that. I'm just like, I don't know. Just I never got gripped by it. I'm sure I could.
You certainly could. I had my thing with Game of Thrones was like the end of the very first episode. Mm-hmm. Episode? I don't know.
Chapter.
Pretty early into that show, a crazy ass thing happens that you're like, fuck this show. I was like, fuck this show. And I stopped watching it. No. Then I came back around and I was like, no, this show's good. And then like a couple seasons later, some other thing happens. And I'm like, no, fuck this show. I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But then they came back and it was good. And then pretty much from there, like I stayed caught up.
Yeah.
And then the last like 2 episodes of that show are dog shit. And it's just like none of the payoff that I was hoping for.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I really just didn't get into that show because it was just never easily accessible.
Sure.
I never had HBO shit.
Yeah.
And then I was never going to buy it, like buy the box
DVDs or whatever.
Just to try something out, even though I heard it was good. I'm like, well, whatever. Fucking somebody will.
It's pretty good.
I own one of the seasons somewhere because.
Somebody thought you liked it?
No, because I bought it one time because there was like this girl I was talking to who was going to come over and watch Game of Thrones with me. And I was like, let me go get some Game of Thrones so we can. And then it just never happened. Mm-hmm. And then it sat wrapped in cellophane on my dresser for months. And it just started to represent that L I took.
Sure.
So I was like, fuck that show.
Especially for like $45.
Right.
For a season of that show.
Money didn't mean things to me back then because I was single, but it was just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that skank. Fuck that show. Fuck that whole situation.
Check out the Dangerously Strange shop to buy Ben's old copy of season 3 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And check out the Instagram to see George in suspenders.
Yeah, we'll put that up.
Yeah. Be pretty good.
We'll put that. You can Photoshop something better behind Alberto's.
That's fine. Just,
all right.
Maybe try to sharpen it up a little bit or something.
Yeah. We've been watching all of the Marvel movies in
Disney Plus
timeline order. I'm not going to talk about that. I still don't subscribe to Disney Plus. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
But
hers is yours, my brother.
Fair enough. She also doesn't subscribe to it.
Okay. I'm about to get rid of Disney Plus, by the way. I just told Becky yesterday. I was like, I think we should get rid of Disney Plus and get our YouTube premium subscription. I think I'd rather not have ads on YouTube than pay for Disney Plus to use it once every 2 months.
For real. But, all the Star Wars movies, all the Marvel movies.
I'm not married to any of that.
But we're watching them in timeline order, not in release order.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the same. But, like, it starts with God damn it. It starts with Captain America. The first movie is Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie is Captain Marvel. And then I think from there it's like very close to release order because it's Iron Man.
Are you in deep already, or are you guys just getting going?
We're about a third of the way through. We're currently watching the second Thor movie.
Mm.
So we've watched both of the first two Iron Man movies, the first Avengers.
Are you getting anything positive out of the experience of watching them this way? Does it like seem pretty on the nose, like on the money? Or?
Well, I hadn't seen Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen Thor all the way through ever. Like more than like 10 minutes of Thor. I hadn't seen the second Thor movie. I had only seen the third Thor movie somehow. Which is actually just like a Loki movie.
Yeah.
Which I hate Tom Hiddleston.
Is that guy?
Yeah.
It's hilarious that's his name.
True. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's fun. Those first few, it's fun because you get to watch Nick Fury like go from.
I hope you burn in hell.
Sure. Yeah. In Captain Marvel, you see why he loses his eye.
Is it a sex thing?
It's not a sex thing. I was going to say it's not a sex thing, but
that's what I was expecting.
It's not. It's just not. Captain Marvel's about racism. Like it's mostly seems to be about racism. I mean, against aliens, but still.
Okay. Speciesism?
Yeah, speciesism. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. We're enjoying it.
It's cool. Marvel movies in the timeline order.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What are we doing these days? I just caught up on, not caught up, but rewatched some Rick and Morty. In some time. Really love that show.
It's a solid show.
It might end up on my list, honestly, but
it's a very solid show.
It's very original and hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
across the board.
That new one that's made by some of the same people. It's got the same animation style, but it's about aliens.
I'm not sure.
It's like a weird, terrible knockoff of Rick and Morty. It's bad. Yeah. It's really bad.
Yeah. Anytime you try to redo something.
I think it's called Out There or something like that.
Probably doesn't have like the same writers and stuff or something.
Something. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I just watch a lot of shit that I fall asleep to.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. You want to take a quick break?
Yeah. Let's take a break. This entertainment talk is winding down. So it's putting us in a boring headspace.
I know.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Listen in on the quirky conversations between a woman with opinions, convictions, and energy, and her man-child of a husband who brings it together with banter and the not-so-occasional moderately inappropriate response. Mama and the Man-Child, featuring Ben and Becky, is now available at dangerouslystrange.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
So that's not going to go in.
Well, I mean, Keanu's not a bad guy. He's pretty good. I mean, you know how I feel about the Matrix trilogy. I'm probably the only person on the planet that liked all of the movies. So,
I mean,
they were good to me, but I know that the sequels were not as well received.
The second one wasn't as good as the third one. And neither of them were as good as the first one.
Well, yeah, the second one and the third one could have been one movie. It could have been one long movie. You know what I mean? Obviously cut down a bit, but
sure,
it was like a transitional movie, but they did release them super close together.
They did. They released them like back to back almost.
Yeah, I think they were a couple months apart or something.
There was a trailer for this third movie after the credits of the second movie.
Yeah, and like for me, I was so emotionally invested in that whole shit. Like I cut school to go watch those movies.
Sure.
You know, like only time I ever cared about anything entertainment wise that much to like be thinking about it in that capacity. So yeah, it was pretty dope. It was a lot of fun, and I was like super influenced by them at the time because we were making our little movies, and I was always trying to like.
Oh yeah, you were doing bullet time shit.
Yeah, I was like into it, but I don't know.
And now here you are, fucking around with Premiere Rush.
Yeah, just starting.
It's got to be easier than that was, though.
Yeah, that was Nero and pressing stop and rewinding and re-recording over things, and not a whole lot of tools in my toolbox back then.
Sure.
I had a 8mm camcorder and a fisheye screw-on.
You were
lens.
using tapes?
I was using tapes,
to make that?
my dude.
I guess we didn't, yeah. So like the flip video camera hadn't even came out yet.
If it did, I didn't have it.
Sure.
Yeah, I had 8mm tapes, which in and of itself was a bitch because they weren't compatible with anybody's anything.
Sure.
And yeah, I think when I showed my stuff at school, I had to like bring my camcorder in and hook up.
Yeah, you were playing them off of the tape, the camcorder. I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, old times.
Yeah, man. It's so much easier now to do shit.
Yeah.
It's like, but the problem is that it's so much easier now to do shit. So everybody does shit.
Right. But
you know, like I see some of these TikTok videos and stuff that are just like, oh, you did a pretty good editing job on that stupid little dance video. Probably took no effort.
It takes some effort still, but people are doing stuff.
People are doing stuff. I mean, everybody's got the tools now.
Yeah, right in your pocket.
You used to want to make a video, or you want to make even a short. You had to have a couple $1,000s worth of equipment, probably, or access to somebody who did.
We should start doing claymation, I think.
Why?
Because it's just like archaically tedious.
All right. How about you do the claymation, and I don't know. I'll make the theme music.
Yeah, you can put the effects over it.
Sure.
All right.
I've never been I like playing with clay and making stuff, but I've never been particularly good at it. So, not excited about our claymation studio, but I'll support you, in your decisions.
Right on. I'll have a 30-second video for you sometime in the next 3.5 years.
We should venture into making a claymation remake of Matrix 2.
Wow.
On an 8mm camcorder.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you in 10 years with that.
Yeah. 20 because it's us.
Sure.
We make promises we can't keep.
And it'll be terrible. I'm not that good at modeling clay.
We got 20 years.
I guess I could start off by becoming a master sculptor.
Yeah.
That'd be a good starting place.
Is there still master sculptors? Is there a place in this world for sculptors to make a living?
Yeah, sure. Especially if you sculpt on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You get ad revenue from YouTube for people watching your sped up of you sculpting stuff.
It's a vase.
Right.
That's it, right? That's all people sculpt.
Yeah, just faces.
I said
a vase. Well, actually, no, that's not a sculptor. That's a potter. That would make a vase.
Okay.
And
ceramic semantics.
Yeah, we've talked about my favorite potter on here before.
Really?
Yeah, when Ken was on, I mentioned my potter.
I don't recall.
My ceramicist.
Are you yourself a ceramicist?
I am not, but I'm interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good on, dude. We can sell some of them on the website.
Sure.
What would you pay, fans? Hit us up on anything and let us know what you'd pay for a handmade, I don't know, cup. What do you make?
Probably vase. Vases are easy.
Vase.
So you don't have to do a handle.
Okay. Well, a good medium-sized vase brought to you by George's loving fingertips.
Mm-hmm. First, someone will need to buy me a wheel, some clay, and a kiln.
Can't you just, Play-Doh or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll start making pots out of Play-Doh. Let us know how much you'll pay for that.
Hey, I mean, it's still handmade.
It's salty, but you can eat out of it.
Sure.
If anything, it'll make your food taste better.
You can still coat it in the shit or whatever, you make it, you let it dry. I'll speak to the fact that Play-Doh does dry out and harden up if you leave it sit out.
Sure.
And then, you paint it with the
ceramic
lacquer.
Paint. Lacquer. Yeah, I'll just put some lacquer on it.
Yeah, you just dip it, maybe. You can dip
oh,
it in
yeah. Oh, you know what? I could do like an acrylic pour.
There you go.
On it.
Uh-huh.
And then it'll have that swirly shit.
And then it'll be Cheerio ready.
Yeah.
Once or twice, and then maybe I'll start rubbing off.
Mm-hmm. Salty Cheerios.
I mean, they have every other flavor of Cheerios.
They do have a lot of flavors of Cheerios.
Yeah. I used to be stoked about quite a few. I like the frosted Cheerios. Mm-hmm. They had Oreo-like Cheerios.
They have Oreo O's.
Oh, those weren't that good, though.
I don't think they're Cheerios.
They were deceptively...
they weren't Reese's Puffs.
They weren't good. They just weren't good.
Which?
Reese's Puffs?
Hit me with a Reese's Puff. Any day.
I'm not big on peanut butter stuff, but Reese's Puffs are pretty good.
They were more chocolatey, with just a hint of peanut butter.
I think that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably the best.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is real good.
I didn't even really have Cinnamon Toast Crunch as a kid. I feel like I started eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch in my 20s and was like, what is this?
My mom didn't approve of sweet cereals.
Mm-hmm.
So like the sweetest cereal that we ever had was Honey Nut Cheerios.
So that's the hill your mom died on.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I can't see the floor in your room and you're probably smoking weed in my face right now. But no sugar puffs for you.
No sugar cereal. I tricked my godparents one time when I was staying with them into buying me a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch when I was like 6 or something, 5 or 6. It's like, oh yeah, we have this kind of cereal at home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It is pretty ridiculous, like sugary cereals. It's candy.
It's candy. Yeah. And yeah, for sure.
Definitely not ideal for being a standalone meal, especially for a child.
No. Part of a complete breakfast. If you eat half a cup of sugary cereal along with an orange, 2 eggs, and some
glass
ham,
of milk, a glass of orange juice, oatmeal.
Yeah. Then it's fine. That's healthy.
2 sausage links, some other brand of cereal for some reason. What's happening? America's obese. We don't know why.
It's the food pyramid, man.
We've been eating balanced breakfasts our whole life.
Yeah.
Our insulin levels are ridiculous.
I don't have any desire to find out what my insulin production is like.
It's probably above average.
It's probably bad. It's probably bad.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You just when you pass out, you pass out, and they'll probably check for you.
Right. I'll wake up or I won't.
Yeah. They'll be like, hey, in case you were wondering, those insulin levels tip top percentile of diabetes.
You are right in the sweet spot of just diabetic life forever.
We're going to go ahead and set you up with one of these chairs with the wheels on it.
You won't be keeping those feet for more than 6 months. So.
Do all your favorite feet things. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. If they take my feet, man, they better let me keep them. That's all I'm saying. I think it's a travesty that people don't get to keep their body parts when they're removed.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they should be like, here, you deal with this, but you should have the... Can I have my foot?
I read an article a few years back about a guy who I want to say he lost his foot. Something happened and they had to take his foot.
Mm-hmm.
But it might have just been part of his foot. I think it was his whole foot.
If you're taking part of my foot, just take my foot. I mean,
something happened. He lost part of his body, a good sized piece of his body. Okay. Had to have it removed. It wasn't a disease.
accident.
It was some kind of accident that ended up with
He kicked a wood chipper or
something. And they were like, we just got to take it. Like, this ain't,
No.
you can't. And somehow he did get to take it home. And he and his friends made tacos out of it.
What? I guess that's probably why they don't want to send that stuff home.
I feel like that's probably among the reasons why you wouldn't send that home.
See, I'm thinking clear on the other side of the spectrum, not eating. I'm thinking more of like decorative.
You want to preserve it. You want to get it bronzed or something.
Something, either bronze it or
Bronzed or brined.
put it in a put it in a jar, grind it or whatever, or possibly like just throw it out in the backyard, let it decompose until it's just bones. Clean that up, and then just mount that puppy up there like a trophy.
Sure.
My dad got me for about 2 seconds because last time I visited him was briefing me on how his recent back surgery had gone, and telling me how they had to like do this to his disc and take one out and do some fusing and yada yada yada. I don't remember the specifics, but then pointed to the wall where he had 2 vertebrae hanging from a piece of rope on his mantle.
Mm-hmm.
And for a very quick second, I was like, that's crazy that that's up there. But then, he let me sit in that for a moment and broke the tension of, it's a deer. It's from a deer. He's a hunter. But it was like, I would love that to just not be the case. Like, yeah, that's my foot.
Sure.
That's my foot bones.
Yeah. Here's that used to be part of me.
Take it down off the wall, show my granddaughter, like, the tibula's connected. Or whatever,
Yeah. I don't. No,
it's a lot of opportunity there.
I don't know
That's
what
just where
ones
my
are
head
connected.
goes.
I don't even know how that song goes, let alone.
But you know what? Also, it is America. And if I want to try human meat, is there a more, safe, unharmful way to do it than just like, well, this is the only time I'm going to get it without breaking the law.
Right.
Real hard.
I mean, you can cut your own.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's no law against cutting your own leg off yourself.
Yeah, I suppose, huh? Just the laws of nature.
Sure. Yeah. Like you have to be able to break some natural, real heavy, innate natural instincts to be able to cut your own leg off or any part of you.
Yeah.
I mean, the Yakuza do it all the time.
Well, you know how I feel about the Yakuza. How do you spell that? Yeah, that's a rough one. I don't know. I guess I could see how you wouldn't want people eating their legs, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. Man shank.
Man shank.
Right.
I think you mean they shank.
Oh, excuse me.
All right. I feel like I got to take a shower after that.
Mm-hmm.
And
we've covered all the topics now: movies, cannibalism,
the Matrix trilogy, Cheerios. All that stuff. There were some other good Cheerios.
Sure.
Apple cinnamon, right?
Apple cinnamon is fine.
You know what I'm excited
about? The problem
about?
with there's a lot of Cheerios where like the Cheerio version isn't as good as like just go get some Apple Jacks instead.
Right.
Just go get some Frosted Flakes.
I feel like a kid
instead.
like you would have benefited from like, my mom only gets Honey Nut Cheerios, and you're like, can we get the apple cinnamon Cheerios this time? And she'd probably be like, okay.
Right. They didn't have flavored cinnamon or flavored Cheerios when we were kids. Like they came out with the frosted one, I think when we were like 13 or 14.
Have you ever tried any of these? Like I hear about these on ads on like podcasts and stuff of the like Magic Spoon or these kind of cereals.
Yes, I'm so interested. I
Yeah,
haven't tried any.
I think it's an amazing idea.
I'm super interested in Magic Spoon. There's another one that's it's 2 cereals. One is got coffee in it.
Ooh.
And the other one has adaptogens in it.
Like anti-aging type?
It helps you like relax. It's like a chill out.
Okay.
It's like they have a wake up one and they have the chill one.
CBD infused.
I don't know. It's like, I can't tell you. It's green. It is green, but it's not weed.
Yeah.
It's some other thing. Adaptogens. Look it up.
Ginkgo or whatever. Shit, I don't know. Whatever the opposite of that is.
GABA.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. That's a thing. Maybe that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, if there's like a cereal that's a quarter of the amount of calories and sugar and shit, I'm into that. As long as it's still decent.
Right. And from what I've heard, yeah, like Magic Spoon tastes good.
Yeah, I'll fuck up a bowl of cereal.
The problem is a box of Magic Spoon costs $11.99.
That's probably why I haven't got. Because I usually, if I'm interested, I'll check out one of those ads, and that's probably what stopped me.
Mm-hmm. It's at least 3 times as expensive as cereal,
and you're going to eat it quickly.
I'm going to eat it just at least as quickly as regular cereal, if not more quickly, because it's good for me.
Right.
Right.
You don't even have that 1 second of hesitation that you'd have with the regular between bowls. You'd be like, well, I feel like I have to eat this because I'm not really getting my nutrition elsewhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it is keto. Mm-hmm. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Made out of beans or some shit. Oh, what are they? There's a brand of bean, like chip snacks. Or they're made out of peas. Maybe chickpeas or something. They're called Pitos.
I like it. I'm a big fan of combining words. Anybody that knows me knows that.
Okay, but that means wiener in Spanish.
If you say it too quickly, it could sound like pedos.
Oh, yeah, which means child pervert in the UK.
Yeah. I think it's pretty universal now. I think we all know what.
Do we call them pedos here too now instead of pedos? I feel like when I learned that word, I feel like everybody was calling them pedos around here.
I think I've heard it both ways.
I think probably from the UK, called pedos. I don't know if now it's just universal, like you're saying, but
yeah, I don't know. It does. I guess it doesn't come up that much. Not having a lot of pedo.
You're not in pedo circles.
Pedo just came right out of my mouth just now, though, like naturally. So I feel like that's probably what I've heard most recently.
Sure. Yeah.
Pedo feels old.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like my parents would say pedo.
Right.
Geppetto.
Oh. Is that racist?
I don't know.
Okay.
Against who?
The Jeps.
The Jeps. Damn. All right. I guess I'll watch my tongue.
Let's take another break.
Already?
Yeah. All right. We got to come back for final thoughts.
Okay. We'll see you guys shortly here for final thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a listen to an ad for something. Probably not Magic Spoon, but hit us up, Magic Spoon.
Yeah. Maybe give us 50% off. That'd be cool.
Something.
A box.
Check out the new show, Polar Opposites, by some of the people involved in Rick and Morty. This show has been described by Lefty Odenbeard as a weird, terrible knockoff of Rick and Morty. Bad. Really bad. So, check it out. Now available for streaming on Hulu.
And we're taking a quick break because my mom
didn't put on Do Not Disturb. We'll be right back.
Yeah, all that. I can't pause it.
George's mom says hi, everyone.
Yeah.
We're here for final thoughts, part 2.
Lightning round.
Fucking the world's opening up. Live events. Back in the gym. Take your mask. Put it on your face still. Maybe put our logo on it.
Subscribe to Ben's OnlyFans.
Subscribe to George's OnlyFans as well. Probably write stuff down before you do speeches on recordings. Get your vaccine. 1, 2. If you get Johnson & Johnson, don't get 2. Also,
Also, Ben was doing a weird thing with his hands, but then I pointed my camera at him and he stopped.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like he was like throwing a donut in his mouth on each number of those lists.
Gobbling final thoughts as I was saying them to you all.
Yeah.
Bringing in the...
I think they were masks. Maybe you were putting another mask on with each hand.
Yeah, I'm for quadruple masking.
Right.
That's where my politics lie.
Yeah. I actually want the mask to not let me breathe.
Yeah, I'm like shooting for regular good old fashioned suffocation. I'm not trying to have it happen through coronavirus.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because America or whatever.
Right. This has been episode 50. Nothing special.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's special that we did it 3 weeks in a row. Sorry, guys. We'll do something special when we can. What we wanted to do was get the old band back together, and it's just not conducive to people's personal lives right now. But it'll happen.
And you know what? We're not to 2 years yet from our release, our first release date. We're still months away from that. But on average, we've released an episode every 2 weeks.
I like how we continually dilute the average to make ourselves feel better. We're like, yeah, I'm sorry we haven't done an episode in 6 months, but
yeah,
if you break it down,
yeah, we really flooded the content a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, we went hard in the paint, and then we relaxed in the paint a little bit.
Yeah, we let the paint dry.
We got cozy in the paint.
But once again, I know now what this is the fourth since we've been back. Fourth. Yeah, fourth since we've been back. This is going to be the fourth one going on.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm saying I think I'm feeling it. I'm feeling momentum on this season, as it were.
Yeah.
This season in our lives.
Yeah, season of, based on our health habits, probably middle-agedness.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
That's somebody calling to tell me I owe them $2,000.
Well, it'll be here when you...
Yeah, well, I'll keep owing it until I don't.
Yeah, you keep sending your paperwork or whatever.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I don't know. I think we're just winding down. I don't really have anything else to part with.
Yeah.
No announcements.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Visit us at dangerouslystrange.com. Visit us on Twitter at dangerousstrange until we change it.
There will be words.
It will say there will be vowels in it still, despite my ridiculous idea that I came up with.
Dangerously Strange on Instagram, Dangerously Strange on Facebook, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google us. We're the only Dangerously Strange in town.
The Real Benny David on Instagram, something like that on Twitter. But if you just search for that, he'll come up. I know on the promo last week, I just said that he was that on both, but he's actually not that on Twitter. It's something else, like Benny David 88 or something.
Much less important than just following Dangerously Strange.
Yeah, follow Dangerously Strange.
That's all we got for you this week, guys.
Yeah.
Look out for some new style of content. We're playing with some new things.
If you are not already following the YouTube, whether you listen to this on YouTube or not, go follow us on YouTube because it helps.
Yeah, you guys know what it is. It's a numbers game.
Yeah. And we've got not enough followers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So do me a favor and follow our YouTube channel.
Yeah. If we don't start making money off this podcast soon, I'm not going to be invited to Christmas. So please, I love Christmas.
You're not even going to be allowed to have Christmas.
Don't even fucking get out of bed on Christmas.
All right, y'all. Love you, Ben.
Love you too, George. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
The Dangerously Strange podcast is a production of Dangerously Strange Studios. Our theme music was created by Rick Russell. Special thanks to Nikki Costa, Mondo Martinez, Bradley Church, and of course, Becky Stone. Thanks for listening.